Welcome back to Adike's Infotech channel. Today we are going to discuss about an interview questions which is from Mphasis. I hope everyone know about this company. It is a multinational company. There are so many branches out there across the India. Like we have in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata. So this is top company. If you see, it will be there in like top 10. So this is one of the most reputed company as well in India. And for IICS developers or Informatica developers, they are offering a very good package based on the experience level. Okay, if you consider like if you have 3 years of experience, it would be like 10 to 13 lakh in between they will be providing. And if you have more than 4 years, more than 6 years, then it would be like till 20 they can offer it. So this interview attended in this year only. So you can consider these are the latest interview questions which was asked from the Mphasis company. And the main interview is it is based on IICS or Power Center. Okay. So the topics they are going to cover in this is for developer role who's having more than 5 plus years of experience or 4 plus years of experience into IICS or Informatica. So they covered IICS and Power Center and Oracle SQL and then Unix and as well as data warehouse concepts. So let's dive deep into the questions, whatever the questions they were expecting for 4 plus years of experience candidates. Okay. So the first question they will ask is in every interview. This is the default question they will ask you, introduce yourself or explain about the project details or experience details. Okay. So this is the basic question there. So this you have to explain based on your experience or whether if you done internship or if you have done trainings in the institutions and what are the projects you have handled in the institutions, and if you have experience what kind of domains you have worked in, what are all the projects you have worked in, so that you need to explain in detail. So that should be within 3 to 5 minutes of time. Some in some interviews it should be less than 2 minutes. So you according to that, plan it and try to rehearse it. So you just stand in front of the mirror and you can just explain yourself, and you can keep up the timing. Stop. You can keep the stopwatch for 2 minutes, and you can just explain yourself so that it will be easy for you to explain in a real-time interview process. Okay. So the second question here is difference between power center and IACS. So I have done some research on these two things and what are all the major important points that we need to give the answers in the interview so that they should satisfy with the points which you are going to tell in the interview. Okay, I'll just show you what are all the major difference between these. So here is, if you see the left side, this is the power center and the orange one is IACS. Okay. First, just divide category wise. Okay. Here I have divided in 5 categories: user interface, installation and maintenance, cost, connectivity, data integration, and integration capabilities. Okay. So if you divide the in this way the categories so that you are it is in complete format. Okay, from starting to ending, we have covered all the important points. So this is how you have to divide the categories. So user first take user interface. You know that how the user interface will be there in the power center, and as well as the main advantage creating these categories so that you can explain yourself. You don't have to by heart anything. If you have experience, by default you can just explain yourself uh, when just think of the categories. User interface, then you will definitely by default you will get it like we have a multiple servers like clients are there. We have multiple clients are there. Servers needs to be installed. Okay, so by default you will get an overview of the Power Center user interface. So let's see here. Power Center has a traditional desktop based on-premise solution user interface that is installed on user machines, and it requires a server and client application. So if you put it in a proper way, overall, whatever you have seen, whatever you have worked on Power Center, so that entire thing is covered in this. So Power Center has a traditional desktop-based on-premises solution. So it is a on-premises software tool, right? Informatica user interface that is installed on the user machines. So it needs to be installed on the laptop or desktop. If you enter into the company, so suppose you are hired for Informatica developer, they will provide us the company a laptop. Okay, so and the admin team, they will install the Informatica Power Center tool on the machines, right? So it requires a server and client application. So the server needs to be installed for this Power Center. And you know that client applications. What are the client applications we have? Repository and designer, workflow, monitor. So these are the four client applications. So which needs to be installed manually. So that's how the interface will be there, right? In the Power Center. When it comes to IICS, IICS being a cloud-based solution, so you don't have to need any physical servers or on-premises servers. So it is a cloud-based solution. Provides similar functionality as Power Center. So it provides the functionality as similar as the Power Center in a better way and can be accessed via the internet. So we can access just through the internet. Okay, or has a web-based user interface that users can access through a web browser. So it should have a internet connection and web browser. That's it. So we have eliminated here. If you see, the Informatica has eliminated so many things. Instead of manual server and client application installation, here just with one thing, cloud-based solution and one browser. That's it. You can ready to use the IICS. Here next installation and maintenance. So here you can see the Power Center installation and maintenance. Someone has to be maintained, right? So Power Center requires installation, correct? As we discussed in the user interface, it needs to be installed in the local user machines and maintenance by the customer. So the customers has to be maintained and it's required a database for installation. So for Informatica Power Center, there is a database requirement will be there where we can fetch the data from the different databases or flat files, right? So installation maintenance should be done by the customer. Suppose the organization has installed this Informatica Power Center. There is a separate team will be there to maintain the Informatica servers and databases servers. So admin team needs to be maintained. So for this, the companies again they have to hire the uh, admin team candidates, right? So if you see in Power IICS, IIC is maintained by Informatica. So here the organizations they don't want no need to hire the admin candidates to maintain this application. Here Informatica itself they will be maintained this IICS cloud services and no database required, everything saved on cloud. So here also we don't need any databases here, everything will be stored on the cloud. So all these things will be maintained by the Informatica team. So when it comes to the cost in the Power Center is more expensive solution because it requires hardware and software infrastructure to run on premises. Correct. So they need to purchase the hardware and software, right? When it comes to IACS, being it's a cloud-based solution, more cost effective because it eliminates the need for hardware and software infrastructure. Here we don't need any infrastructure. Okay, everything is cloud based. And if you here you can see the database should be required, right, for the space to store the data. Here in cloud we will be having a cloud-based database, cloud-based solutions will services will be there. Whatever the space you will use, for that much only we need to uh, pay the money. When it comes to the connectivity, Power Center typically connects to on-premise data sources. Correct. When it comes to IICS, it will connect to many cloud data sources like Snowflake, Amazon S3, Google BigQuery, Salesforce. So here we have a limited connectivity in Power Center. When it comes to IICS, we have huge number of access so that we can connect to the many cloud-based cloud-based databases. Okay. So here in Power Center, data integration features a wide range of data integration capabilities are there, such as data profiling, data cleansing, data transformation, and data quality. When it comes to ISS, it also has these features, but it includes additional cloud-specific features such as cloud application integration (CAI), cloud data integration (CDI), and API management. So they are introduced some more integration features in IACS. Integration capabilities in Power Center. It is primarily designed for complex data integration projects, okay, that involve large volume of data and multiple data sources. This we already know, right? In IACS, on the other hand, more lightweight solution that is focused on cloud-based data integration and application integration scenarios. So these are the major difference between the Power Center and IACS. Okay, so that's the thing you need to explain. And the next question is what is runtime environment in IACS? So this is also important question. So as you can see, runtime environment is nothing but it is a execution platform that runs Informatica intelligent cloud services assets such as tasks and task flows. So to run tasks and task flows, you should have a runtime environment. If you don't have this runtime environment, we cannot run any mappings or tasks or task flows. Okay, it is a server upon which your data gets staged while processing. You must have at least one runtime environment in each organization so that users in the organization can run tasks. A runtime environment consists of one or more secure agents. Secure agent is nothing but it acts like a firewall which secures the data when uh, when we are communicating with the cloud and IACS. The next question is what is replication task, synchronization task in ISDS? So here replication task is nothing but it is to replicate data from source to a target. Okay, basically why we use this replication task? We use this for a offline reporting purpose. Suppose let's take one scenario in an organization. The business analyst team they want to analyze the business from from 2000 to 2010. So they need 10 years of data. So we will be having the data in data warehouse, right? But let's say, the data warehouse will be accessing every day to day life, right? So for reporting purpose, what we can do, we can replicate some data. As I said, from 2000 to 2010. So between that particular time period, we can replicate. So we can take all the data from the data warehouse or database and we can load into some other tables just for the reporting purpose. It's like temporary tables. Okay. So in that case, we can use this replication task. So after replicating the business team, they can do the analysis or they can create some reportings on the data. So may or may not have target table. If you don't have a target table also, this replication task will create the target table. And we can do insert or incremental load operations as well. So let's take the properties. What are all the properties we'll be having in the replication task? Once you open the replication task, right, first the thing is source. Source, here you can see you need to define the task name and the location wherever you want run this task. If you want to give any description about why you are designing this replication task, you can just give the description so that for further any persons want to check what this replication task is doing, so they just go through this description and they will come to know. Source connection, you need to define the source connection. Objects to replicate, whether you want to replicate all objects. As I said, for particular time period, you can just include this, go to this include objects and you can select what are all the tables are available. Okay, you can just take that particular tables only. Or else, if you want to just exclude like one or three tables, so you can exclude, suppose if you want to exclude only like 10 or 20 tables, just click, click on the exclude objects, you can exclude it. So based on the scenario, you can use this, you can apply this option. If any error occurs while processing, able to cancel processing the remaining objects, continue processing of the, in this you can select any one option. Okay, the second thing is, here you can see the second one is target. We need to define the target. Here just take target connection. Just take this prefix X so that you will come to know that in target with this prefix the tables are that we are taking only for the reporting purpose. Okay, the target bulk load is false. So replication options, load type, incremental load after initial full load, incremental load after initial partial load. So here we have many options. You can select this, and here one more is there. Initial partial load, initial load rows created or modified after. You can give here the date columns. Delete options, remove deleted columns and rows, return deleted columns and rows. If you want, you can opt for this. And commit says, so here I have given 1000. After 1000, every 1000 records, it should be commit. So next thing is field exclusions. Field exclusions. Here, if you want, suppose in a table you have like 30 columns, and you don't want like 3 or 4 columns, then you can exclude the fields from this. Then, if you want to filter any data, the fourth row is data filters. If you want to filter data, suppose you have a transactions or you have the sales regions, you just need only some particular of regions of data. So then you can filter in the data filter. Then just you need to schedule that task. So this is how the properties will be there. So you need to explain the properties as well if the interviewer asks you. Okay. And the next question is, sorry, you do have a synchronization task in it. Okay, let's check the synchronization task. So what this synchronization task will do, it's like same as replication task, but there are some important points in this. So this data synchronization task synchronize the data between source and target, like insert, update, upset, or delete. It's simple way to move data from one place to another without applying any transformation. So if you want to move the data from one database to another database, or if you want to move the data from source to target without applying any transformation logics, okay, like from temporary tables to the staging tables, if you want to move the data, so at that time we don't need to apply any transformations, right? So at that time you can use this synchronization task. So we can filter the records here. Only one target we can select and do the field mapping in field mapping. So yeah, we can do the field mapping. In field mapping, we can apply some logics. So without applying the transformations like expression, filter transformation, so without taking those, in this task only we can do the filtrations and we can do some basics logics. And we should have at least one target table. Otherwise, we can other target table. Other we can perform this. Example: if a company wants to replicate data from MySQL database to the PostgreSQL database, so they could create a data synchronization task in IICS, create a data synchronization task, take source as MySQL database and target as PostgreSQL databases. Okay. The task would read data from MySQL database, which is source, and write it to the PostgreSQL database, which is a target, without modifying the data. So let's check the properties here. So they will ask you the properties as well. What kind of properties will be there in the synchronization task? So here you can see the six. We have six steps, six stages are there. The first thing, definition. So here the basic details you need to do: task name, location, description, and operation. Whether it is the first time you are loading, just take insert. So after some time, there are records has been updated in the template table. So that needs to be synchronized in the PostgreSQL. Okay. So at that time you can use update or you can use update insert. There are some records has been deleted from MySQL. Then it needs to be deleted from the PostgreSQL. Then you can just do the delete. Okay. The second thing is source, right? Source. Yeah. Yeah. In source tab, you have to give the connection details and source type single or multiple or save query. If you take single, just take the table name, object name. So here in the preview, it will show you like this. So this is the table name. These are the headers, name, department, location, and the data which we have. So it will show there itself. This third one is target. Give the target name, target object. Just define the target table. If you want to truncate, no. If you want to truncate, you can give yes. Bulk load. If you want, you can give true. Here also you can see the target table, how it will be loaded into the table. So we have three columns, and at present there is no data, right? And the fourth one is data filter. As I said, if you want to filter some data, you can go with the filter options here. So if you want to limit some rows, let's say we have 10 millions of records. Instead of that, you need to just process some millions of records. Then you can give the row count here. And data filter, if you want to filter, just click on this new. You can filter on the columns as well. And the fifth one is field mapping. You need to do the field mapping. Once the source and target is done and the filter also is done, then you need to give the field mapping. Source and target, like how we do the field mapping in the transformation level, right? So in the same way, you can give the field mapping here, name to name, department to department, location to location. And again, as I said, we can do some business logics, right? Some basic business logics. Here we can implement. You can see the here expression or lookup. You can just click on it and you can define the basic logics. And after that, you just schedule the map. That's it. So this is all about synchronization task. Now let's see what is the dynamic mapping task in IICS. So dynamic mapping task is nothing but it allows you to create and group multiple jobs within a single asset that process data based on the data flow logic defined in a mapping. Instead of creating multiple mapping tasks, you can configure multiple jobs based on the same mapping in one. So basically the dynamic mapping talks, when we will use it, you have a, suppose let's say you have a 10 to 20 files which has a same structure, but we need to load it into a single target. Okay. So at that time, what normally we need to import all the files, and we need to use union or transformation or expression transformation to combine the data, right? And we will load it to the single table. So this dynamic mapping tool, instead of creating multiple mappings, you can just create one single mapping which will do the multiple jobs. So here we'll see here. So first in this properties, what you will get the parameters and input parameters will be. So here you need to define the source connection and the source object, target connection and the target object. So these all are parameterized. We need to parameterize the connection details and the source and target details. Okay. Not only the connection details, we need to parameterize the objects as well. So here source is the object, which is nothing but table, and target is a file name. So I'm loading the different table data into the single file. Let's see how we can achieve this. So in the parameter tab, we will define that. In the general tab, we need to give the description and the dynamic mapping name. Okay, all these you need to configure. And when it comes to the jobs, here the job one is there, right? Here we will be defining all this, and we need to select the object, which table you need to load into the file, and what is the target connection name, what is the file name. We'll just define in this. Suppose here I have taken three tables, and I need to load these three tables into different files. Okay, so I'm just defining all these jobs into single asset. Here I have taken employees.csv, department.csv. So once the jobs has been defined, we need to run, right? So we need to we need to enable the jobs, and we need to assign the groups. You can see group 1, group 2, group. So here you can do that. If you want to delete, you can delete it. If you want to copy the same job to the next job, you can just copy it. And then these are the jobs. Under jobs, we need to create this. Under the groups, you need to define the sequence of the job execution. So job 1, job 2 belongs to group 1. Job 3 belongs to group 2. Here we need to define the order. So 1 to 1 is nothing but group 1. Group 1 it will execute first. So if you see here group 1 we have two jobs, 1, 2. So these two jobs will done. Next group 2 will done. So in that case sequence wise we need to define the groups. So this is how we'll use this dynamic mapping task. And the next is major difference between sequence generated transformation compared to Power Center and IICS. This is definitely questions. If you have whether you have answer or not, just by answering this question, they will come to know. Okay, so this is the major the guest question. So in PC, you know the sequence generator, right? Why we use sequence generator? To generate the sequence values. Okay. In Power Center, it has only output ports like next val and curve val. We cannot use it for shared sequence. Okay. So we have only two options, next value and current value in Power Center. When it comes to IICS, it has both input and output ports. In Power Center, we have only outputs, right? We don't have any incoming ports. So in IICS, we have both input and output ports. We can use it to share the sequence across the other mappings. In Power Center, we cannot share the sequence values, but in IICS, we can share the sequence values across the other mappings as well. Share sequence used in sequence generator with incoming fields, not disabled. With incoming fields not disabled, will generate same sequence of numbers for each downstream transformation. What does it mean? Shared sequence we use in sequence generator with incoming fields not disabled. If there are the incoming fields are not disabled in the sequence generator, then it means that we can shade the sequence. Okay, and it will generate the same sequence of numbers for each downstream applications. Let's say we have a three transformations and we are using this sequence generator which is having input and output, and we are not disabling incoming fields. So for the downstream transformations, let's say we have three expressions. Okay, for each expression, it will generate the same sequence values. In first expression, let's say it created 1 to 5. In the second also, it will create 1 to 5. In third also, it will create 1 to 5. So if we have scenarios like that, we can use this. And shade sequence used in sequence center with incoming fields disabled. If you disable the incoming fields, it will generate unique sequence of numbers for each downstream. So if you disable the incoming fields, it will act like as a power center sequence generator. It will generate the unique sequence numbers for each downstream applications. Let's say, as I said in previous 1 to 5 it has generated, the same 1 to 5 it will generate in the next for the other transformation. Here we have 1 to 5, and for the downstream application it will generate from 6 to 7. So unique sequence will be generated. So this is the major difference between. And next question is, every day job ran successfully, but today job got failed. What is the reason and how to fix the issue? This is they will ask you whether you have worked on session log analysis, or you have knowledge on the recover the workflows. So every day the job running fine, and one day it got failed. There are many reasons. Let's discuss some points here. If the integration service is down, there might be a chance to uh, getting the job failed, and there is a change in uh, data coming from the source. You are expecting some data, but we are receiving some another data from the upstream. So in that case also the job will fail. Or if you have any Oracle Oracle connection issues are there, then the job will fail. Or if you have some the catch index has been size has been full, so in that case the job will fail. And if you have any what do you say, unwanted characters are coming from the source, so we are receiving the bad records from the source, in that case also the job will fail. So these are the major scenarios we will face in the real time scenarios. Okay, and if you have any other reasons also, just let me know in the comment section, so that the subscribers or who are looking for the interview questions, so those answers it will help them a lot. And the next question is SCD type. So this is a must and should question in every interview. This will definitely will ask in the interview question. So what is SCD type in IICS or Power Center? So SCD type 2 is nothing but a slowly changing dimension used to maintain complete history of the record in the target. Okay. When the value of chosen attribute of the record changes, there is a record has been changed from, coming from the source, and the record is made inactive and new record is created with modified data value and is considered as an active record. So we will inactive the record in the target table and we will insert new record and it will make it as an active record. How you can implement the SCD type in Informatica Power Center? First, identify the new record and insert it. Next, identify the existing record and make it inactive if there is a change in the data. And the record with updated data is inserted as new record in the target table and is considered as active. Next, identify the existing record and dropping it in the mapping if there is no change in the data. If there is no change in the record, then we will drop that record. The I will explain the practical session in the next video. In this video, I'll just giving heads up like critical how it will be there. And next in Oracle, they have asked only two questions: how to remove duplicate records from the table and how to update a column male to female in a table. Let's see that. So how to remove duplicate keys? So here I'm taking row ID. By using row ID, I'm just deleting the records. So first what I've done is just taking the max of row ID from the table and grouping it by one column. So we'll get the max value, right? Max row ID will get here and delete from table where row ID not in. So other than max, whatever the row IDs are there, those will be deleted. So in that case, we will be deleting the duplicate records. Or we can take min of row ID as well. Select min of row ID from employee B. I'm just joining it. Employee B where B dot employee ID equal to A dot employee. So delete from employee A where row ID greater than. So here I'm taking minimum like one. Suppose we have three duplicates. Minimum is one, right? So one greater than two. So that second record will be greater. Delete. Sorry. One three greater than one. Three is greater than right. So that will be removed. Two is greater than one. Two is greater than that will be removed. So in that way we can remove the duplicates. And how to update a column male to female. Update table name, set gender equal to female, where gender equal to male. Wherever the male is there, I will just updating it as female. This is a basic interview question. And data warehouse. Let's see. Okay, first we'll check for data warehouse. Types of schemas available in data. What are the schemas available in data warehouse? So these are the data warehouse concepts. So we have a different schemas in data warehouse, right? Star schema, snowflake schema, galaxy schema. Okay, these are the schemas. Star schema is nothing but it is a data warehouse schema where there is only one fact table. So if you see here, we have only one fact table here, one fact table, and many denormalized dimension tables surrounded by denormalized dimension tables. Okay. Fact table contains primary keys. You know that, right? It will hold all the primary keys and foreign key values from all the dim tables and other numeric forms. So if in real time, if you see here, sales facts, we have product key, time key, customer key. Okay, all the key values are there. So this is considered as a fact table. And the dimension tables related to this is product key, product name, product code, so there should be relation, right? That's why product key is there. This product key will be mapped to the factable product key. So based on this product key, we will get product name, code, brand name, product category, package type. So these are the dimension tables. And the next is snowflake schema. Unlike star schema, it contains normalized dim tables in a tree-like structure with many nested levels. So it is easier to maintain, but query requires more joins. We need to use more joins to get the required data. So here the fact table is only one fact table and we have dimension tables, and for the dimension tables also some sub dimension tables also are there. If you take this scenario, we have a product here, right? For this product there is one more dimension table. Let's consider for the product sub dimension what will come. Let's say products, whether the products related to uh, skin care or hair care or some other. So okay, so those will consider as a sub dimension tables. So galaxy schema, which contains many fact tables surrounded by common dim tables, it is combination of multiple data marks. So galaxy schema is nothing but we'll have a fact tables will be there surrounded by the common dim tables. We'll have many fact tables and each fact table will have a common dimension tables. So that's all about schemas and what are the schemas we have. Majorly we will use star schema and the snowflake schema in the real time. What is factless fact table and what are the types of fact table? So fact table we know Factable it is a numeric value. It contains all the primary keys, foreign keys, and the numeric values like number of products sold, values of products sold, number of products produced. Okay, these are the examples. Factless factable. What is factless factable? Factable contains only primary keys from the dimension table. This we know, right? And that do not contain any measures. That type of fact table is called factless fact table, which do not contain any measures. Example, it captures many-to-many relations between dimensions but contains no numerical text facts. It's like tracking student attendance or registration events. So like that. So tracking student attendance, what we will have? We'll have only we do not have any numeric values or any some numeric values will not be there, right, in the student attendance tracking. We'll just have the student name and the weekdays, something like that. We will consider a factors factor. And what are the fact types? We have three types: additive, semi-additive, and non-additive. Additive is nothing but that can be summed up through all of the dimensions in the fact table. Semi-additive means can be summed up for some of the dimensions in the fact table but not the others. Non-additive that cannot be summed up for any of the dimensions present in the fact table. So this is how it looks like the factless fact table. Promotion facts, student product ID, store ID, date, room ID. So for these factors, we'll be having a dimension tables, naming date dimension, product dimension, promotion dimension, and store dimensions. Okay. Just have a theoretical knowledge. They will not ask you how you can design this. So just have a theoretical knowledge. That's it. So we discussed types of activities. Next, junk dimension and data modeling. So junk dimension is nothing but it's a collection of random transitional codes, flags, text attributes that are unrelated to any particular dimensions. It is simply a structure that provides convenient place to store the junk attributes. So which is nothing but junk dimension. And we do have a confirmed dimension. It is something like which we will build in once in a data modeling, and we can use it, reuse multiple times with the different factors. This is also they will ask you in the interview. And the next is data modeling, types of data modeling. So what are all the data modelings are there while designing the data warehouse? So we have physical, logical, and conceptual data. Just go through this. Okay. Just have a theoretical knowledge. Uh, it's very rare. They will not ask you in depth of this kind of in depth. They will not ask you. But if they ask you, it is best to have at least theoretical knowledge. Okay. Just go through this document. We discussed this, right? What are factors, not factors? Yeah. So that's all about data warehouse. Next, they will ask you at last, they will ask you Unix commands, how to find zero size files in a current directory. Let's discuss this. So this is the command find in quotes, just give the directory name and then space hyphen size zero. So it will display the what are the sizes are with zero file sizes or that. So those file names it will display. And how to delete a header and footer record in a file. So this is command SCD command you have to use SCD hyphen a in quotes 1D colon dollar $D file name. So it will just remove the header and footer. And how to print first and third line from a file. So you have to use awk command, awk in quotes nr equal to 1. You need to concatenate with nr equal to 3. And then file name. So it will print first and third line from a file. So these are all the interview questions from Mphasis. So I hope you guys are understood all these questions, and In the next coming video, I'll be giving you all the practical session like what is it, how you can implement a replication task and simulation task, how to implement dynamic mapping task and SCD type 2 implementation. So this I will be covering in the next video. So thank you so much guys for subscribing and watching my videos regularly. If anyone is watching without subscribing to my videos, please do subscribe and support me. So it will motivate me to do the more videos so that it will reach to many people. Thank you so much, guys. Let's meet in the next session.